J'ai déjà été.
You can see my hand.
Regardez mes mains.
You can see my hand. I was beaten at what you call at Parliament.
J'avais été
And
tabassé au
all
Parlement.
those fingers are broken.
I was there.
You are there. I lost. Can you see? All
On
this
avait mis
panga.
des
They left my intestine out. I have gone through 3 deaths.
Je
But
suis
all
déjà.
of them have resurrected.
Long live the dying spirit of Winnie Mandela, long live. Long live. Afrika moja. Afrika huru. Afrika huru. Afrika moja. Haya, amka, amka. Amka, amka.
So from the words of Robert Sobukwe from the PAC, we remember that we don't live in Africa, Africa lives in us. And that is why we have an undying commitment, an unmatched commitment to build a Pan-Africanism of a new kind.
Huru, huru, Palestina. Huru, huru, Palestina.
Pan-Africanism means a methodology to get us to where we want to be. And where we want to be is a world free from domination, free from exploitation.
Is to link all these issues to capitalism.
Alors,
The root cause.
l'une des choses, c'est de lier ces problèmes-là aux causes profondes, aux racines, que sont le capitalisme.
And then this campaign gives back to committees
Et maintenant, ces campagnes vont essayer d'aller au niveau des comités.
that gives back to social movements.
My name is Citoyen from Mathare. I organize Mathare Social Justice Center and the broader Social Justice Movement Nairobi chapter. Mathare Social Justice is a community-based organization. Our main vision is to be a hub of movement, to be a hub that helps spark social movements in the country. And Mathare Social Justice Center was privileged this year to host Afrikki exchange program, where we had comrades here for 3 weeks who basically came so that we can exchange strategies and tactics on how we organize in our different countries, but also come together to glue pieces and forge a new way of organizing as Africans. That is people-centered Pan-Africanism.
Why is Mathare an iron desert, and our neighborhood is a suburb community with trees and organized houses with running water, and Mathare we have no water, our river is dirty.
Hizo hisia kabisa za mambo yanayonigusa moyoni juu ya hali ya watu wa neighborhood ya Mathare. Hata nilikuwa nikimwambia Sage, sisi ukifika Tanzania slum area ni kama Mazese au Balai, ambayo ukiangalia in real sense ukifika Mathare unasema ni kama Tanzania hakuna kabisa slum area. Kwa hiyo ni hali ya uduni sana ambayo mtu yoyote ambaye ana hiyo sense ya utu akifika ni lazima tu kuna feeling fulani utaipata.
Personally, I just encourage them for the fight they did, just to call and conscientize the citizens of Mathare to take that way of joining the fight.
And that's why we say organize, organize, organize to take power. Because if we organize every day, form a movement, we are able to take power.
C'est pour cela que nous disons organiser, organiser.
A world that every African gets enough for their produce. From the interactions, we could tell that Africa feeds the continent. From the words of Thomas Sankara, he reminded us that if you want to know whether you're free, look at what you're eating.
You better go and do something with your lives. You better go continue preaching justice to other people, so that people can know their rights. And also, the struggle needs us. Can you fight for someone and the struggle needs us? You cannot.
Art and culture is a very important weapon, as Cabral says. In the program, we incorporated songs, mystica, and cultural nights.
Songa mbele Africa. Songa mbele Africa. Songa mbele Africa. Yeah, hi there. My name is Dongi Geduku. I am the band leader of the Field Marshals band. And I'm here, this is home. We are hosting Pan-Africanists from all over, from Senegal, from Burkina Faso, from Congo, you know, etc. And so we are here to put our minds together so that we continue the discussion and the debate that is all about a people-centered Pan-Africanism. People's focused Pan-Africanism for me is very simple. It is the way of getting to know what is happening in other countries in Africa, within Africa. Already we have established and we know that these boundaries that we have are colonial boundaries. So one of the things we are fighting right now is to make sure that we have decolonized the boundaries that we have. Because before we were one people, but the Berlin conference now brought us to where we are. So where we are thinking that a Tanzanian to me is a foreigner, and Senegalese is a foreigner, South Sudanese is a foreigner, which is not true. So what we're doing is to simplify the whole thing of talking the language of Pan-Africanism. Like today, we had what I can call a people-centered Pan-Africanism activity. There is a road up the road in Jadaine, and we had announced that we were organizing for a Mandamano, where the people of here, Kabete and Momuto, were going for Mandamano to demand that that road must be made. And all these guys under Afrikki came, and we were singing, you know, songs from Senegal, we were singing songs from the Congo, we were singing songs from Burkina Faso, etc. So for me, that is a people-based Pan-Africanism.
My name is Gashehe, coordinator Mathare Social Justice Center that is hosting Afrikki here in Kenya on a social movement exchange program. And today we had a discussion on people-centered Pan-Africanism, where we had Professor Latif Abdallah Mukoma Wangogi, Professor Carol Boys Davis from Trinidad and Tobago, who have really done a great work in a struggle and intellectual work on people-centered Pan-Africanism.
To drive away the stench of your treachery and hoodwink humanity, I refuse. I refuse to enter my brain and ask it to entertain even the sound of the idea that our loves should be one. Because what by love you define doesn't tally with mine. I love my heroes. You ignore, persecute and kill. You love my enemies who rob and enslave me still. How then can there be love between you and me when the beats of our hearts' music are not in harmony?
Pan-Africanism should actually come away from the hegemony of the ivory towers of academia, of intellectuals, of scholars, to go back home to the people of Africa.
One of the most fundamental things that actually puts us together to come and discuss such kind of issues is that we need to always be guided by true scientific theories that actually work for the people.
For me, it means when it comes to the question of how it looks like people-centered Pan-African society is whereby the people themselves are able to own up their issues, their problems, and to understand that the majority have the power. And when it comes to the political question and social and economic, you find that the majority of the people are not into those lived or well conditions that make a human being to live as a human being.
Dans le but de bâtir une unité autour des peuples africains que nous sommes, conscients des enjeux qui guettent l'Afrique, nous nous sommes rendus compte que l'unité africaine en réalité incarnée par nos chefs d'État n'est pas une unité.
As the aim of Afrikki is to create the new spirit of Pan-Africanism, everything that I heard is
helping me to understand how we can fulfill that aim.
People-centered Pan-Africanism is the way to go, where people own the process and they work towards getting the goal. I think these self-change programs are really helpful for activists and for generally Africans who have this ideology.
The Kimathi Day happens on the 18th of February annually. That is to commemorate the year that he was assassinated in February 1957. Dedan Kimathi was a political activist and he was a Mau Mau fighter, a Mau Mau general who was at the central of its leadership. He was assassinated, and in the bid of doing away with Mau Mau, which they describe as a terrorist organization, brought freedom and land to the people of Kenya. On the 18th of February, comrades participated in commemorating the assassination of Dedan Kimathi, which one gave them an upbeat spirit and lifted their spirits to continue with the liberation war, which is a new means to build Pan-Africanism.
Kimathi was of peasant origin. His mother Waifodhi was extremely poor. His father Washiori had died before Kimathi was born. He was 15 years old when he joined the Karunaine Primary School to start his education. The same year that he joined the school, he was Christianized and given the colonial name Dedan.
Kongamano la Mapinduzi inaungana na Wakenya, mashirika na vuguvugu katika maadhimisho ya 68 ya Kimathi Day. Tunasisitiza ya kwamba tunasimama na zile falsafa, ideolojia na itikadi zilizomuongoza Kimathi na jeshi la ardhi na uhuru.
Mau Mau ilianzia hapa Kamkunji. Sabasaba ilianzia hapa Kamkunji. So kila kitu inaanzia wapi? So mapambano ya kukomboa Kenya kiuchumi inaanzia hapa.
The Communist Party has been part and parcel of the struggles of the Kenyan people. And for us, we just inherit that historical, duty to advance the struggle.
It's very, very important for us to see young people who actually want to change this country.
Whereas on the 25th of the same month in February, comrades also participated in commemorating Pio Gama Pinto, a socialist, a freedom fighter, and a social justice activist, who was assassinated on the 25th of February in 1965. These 2 days marked as the helm of celebrating and commemorating the contributions that our freedom fighters have always held close to their hearts, that from their contributions on their shoulders we stand. To this day, the Kenyan population and the family of Dedan Kimathi has not found his remains. Why? Because they are kept secret by the British government in cohorts with the Kenyan government. After his assassination, no one knew where the remains were kept. And at this day, the Kenyan people are also fighting for his remains, and at the same time, not his remains, but the freedom of the Kenyan people.
The inter-movement exchange was really about some of the strong social movements on the African continent getting together to just learn from one another, to say, what's your experience in Senegal? How do we compare that to our experience in Democratic Republic of Congo? And to build relationships. Without relationships, we can't build collectivity. We gotta build relationships with one another. And so
Wright, and I work for an organization called Project South.
Mon nom est Emery Wright et je travaille pour une organisation appelée Project South.
We're based in Atlanta, Georgia,
On est basé à Atlanta, en Georgie.
And we're part of this Afrikki network.
Et nous sommes partie du réseau Afrikki.
And the process of decolonization is putting back together what has been broken. But when you put back something together, it's not going to be the same. We're not trying to go back to some past and recreate that. We're putting back together what's been broken apart, and it's going to be something new, you know, and that's what we're creating.
We're going to have a short presentation on Pan-Africanism, and after that we're going to have reflections on what has been presented as we look into the expectations that we shall have mentioned as regards the discussion today.
As many comrades have alluded to, it is beyond sloganeering and talking about Pan-Africanism. When we cannot talk about the unity of African countries without the unity of the people of Mathare here in Kenya.
On ne peut pas parler de l'union des gens de l'Afrique alors que les gens
in Congo,
les gens de Bopa ne sont pas unis.
You know, the people of Dakar in Senegal. We have to unite from that basic level that is our village.
Kwa letu la jamaa Tanzania limefikia makubaliano ya kwamba kazi hiyo ya kuhujumu na kuangusha ubepari ni kazi ambayo itafanikiwa endapo wavuja jasho wa Tanzania, Afrika na ulimwenguni kote wataweza kushikamana katika mapambano dhidi ya ubepari.
Pan-Africanism has a concept of international solidarity that we can look into, because Pan-Africanism does not mean Gambia uniting with Kenya. It means that we have the Kurdish struggle, we have the struggles in Palestine, and all of that can build to Pan-Africanism, because the African continent is is one of the continents that our struggles are connected with the struggling masses in Palestine, with the struggling masses in the Kurdish struggle, with the struggling masses, the workers in America. And so the Pan-African struggles is not a concept that you can look at as just the African continent.
Pan-Africanism for us,
alors le panafricanisme pour nous,
it's not just African clothes, African food and cuisine. Pan-Africanism was born in the diaspora.
Le panafricanisme est né dans la diaspora.
In the 19th century.
Au 19e siècle.
Yes, and there were several figures who were, because then the struggle then was slavery.
In Ngugi wa Thiong'o, he wrote in one of his books, and I'm paraphrasing, the process of colonialism was like a great breaking apart. We were broken apart from our culture, we were broken apart from our communities. In the context of slavery, we were even broken apart from the continent itself into the diaspora.
We want, as the working class people of Mathare and Kenya,
et nous allons vouloir en tant que la classe ouvrière de Mathare et du Kenya,
because we understand the struggle of other working people in different parts of this continent,
aussi la lutte des autres classes ouvrières dans le continent
and the world at large.
Dans le monde.
And we are in solidarity with people who are fighting for dignity every day.
During the program, we were also able to launch the Kenya and Congo Solidarity Campaign. This is a campaign that will help sensitize the masses of Kenya about what is happening in Congo and help us stand in solidarity with the people of Congo.
War to the resistance war. Down with the brutality in Congo, down. Down with the brutality in Congo, down.
Pan-Africanism comes from a point of struggles within the people's struggles. That Pan-Africanism rose as a resistance struggle against slavery and against all forms of domination from the epochs that have come from the older society.
Let me tell you about the story of my life.
Palestine down. As the radical social movements from Africa were saying, neo-colonial projects must not be allowed to flourish in any part of the world. So one of the very important features of our Pan-Africanism, comrade, it is also internationalist in nature, right, comrade? And right from the beginning, it has always been an internationalist in nature. We will fight imperialism in our continent and we will win. And in solidarity with other comrades worldwide, we will fight imperialism at the heart of imperialism itself, where it is being brewed. I mean the New York, the Brussels, and all those centers where imperialism is being brewed. We will fight it from our continent, we will win it here, and we will also fight and win it there. Down with imperialism, down. Down. Free Congo, free. Free. Free Sudan, free. Free. Free, free Palestine, free. Free. Free Africa, free. The working class of the world is free. Free.
We also had a vision to just remember and sensitize the people of this country about the genocide. We remember the people who have been killed in Congo, and also women and children.
Ayo ma, ayo mama. Ayo ma, ayo mama. Ayo ma, ayo mama. Ayo ma, ayo mama. America isikie. America isikie. Na Europa isikie. Na Europa isikie. Afrika tunaungana. Afrika tunaungana. Viva Pan-Africanism, viva! More part international solidarity, more power! Long live Africa, long live!
Nadhani mnaona sio? Anatumika na mabepari ambani UK, US, all these imperialism zinatumika kuwafunga wamama Kongo, vile comrade amesema, kuwafunga mdomo wasiongee, na they are bleeding every day. Na Wakenya wengi wanafaa wajue hivyo, ya kwamba kila siku Kongo inaumia. Na comrade amesema Kongo inaweza lisha kila mtu wa Afrika. Kongo inaweza fanya nini? Na ndio amesema watu wetu wafai kwenda Saudi Arabia, wapi? Wanafaa wote, kazi zile ziko Kongo zinatosha kila mtu, si ndio? Na kama Pan-Africanist tuko in solidarity na all the women and all the children ambao wako Kongo, ambao wanapigana na kupambana na hali mbaya ya mabepari.
And the next thing that is going to happen, if you do not protect Congo, in fact it is very easy to get hapa Kenya. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu pia sisi tunajua ukweli, tuko na watu ambao as leadership it is very compromised.
Our brothers in Congo and brothers in Rwanda who are being sent by Kagame to go in Congo to fight their fellow brothers in Congo must know that this is not the war of borders. This is the war of our people. And we are calling upon the youth of Rwanda to come down and reason with the brothers in Congo and the brothers of Africa. We cannot be used to kill a generation, our generation. We cannot. We are not enemies. The youth of Rwanda and the youth of Congo are not enemies. We are not enemies. But they are making us to be enemies. Why? Why are our brothers in Sudan fighting? It's the young people who are being killed. It's the young people who are killing their mothers, killing their grandfathers, killing their uncles and their sisters, the younger people.
Viva Congo, viva! Viva! Down with genocide, down! Down! We are not begging, but we are demanding an end to the killings in Congo. We are demanding an end to what is happening in Palestine and in Sudan, in all the countries where we are experiencing wars right now. Forward with organizing, forward. Forward. Africa, Africa. Bara lenye mali nyingi. Mabeberu wa Ulaya wanalilia sana. Africa, Africa. Bara lenye mali nyingi.
tuikomboe elimu yetu, utamaduni na viwanda vyetu. Tukomboe utamaduni na viwanda vyetu. Sisi hatutaki kudhulumiwa, hatutaki tena mauaji, ili kupe tuliangushe haki na uhuru.
Across borders, we unite celebrating our diversity and sharing our stories. Through exchange programs, we build bridges of understanding and solidarity.
You can see my hands. They have wounds, all of them. This is. I was beaten at what you call at Parliament. And all those fingers are broken.
I was there.
You are there.
I took you from the Likotio guy.
From Likotio guy.
Yes.
And I had to go to Canada to know when I can get a doctor who can make without, because you cannot tie them inside each other, who can tie the 5 bones and restore them. But even Dr. Brent from Canada, Toronto University Hospital, was unable to straighten all of them. You can see one. Can you see it's cut off?
Regardez comment est-ce qu'on avait quitté,
this is a graft from my leg. And all these skins are grafted. This was cut off. Can you see this cut off and this? So I lost my 3 fingers. I lost, can you see? All this panga, they left my intestine out.
Même au niveau intestinal, on a déjà coupé avec la machette.
I have gone through 3 deaths. But all of them have resurrected.
My question is, this guy who was clobbering you, because I was there, and I remember how you were screaming and he was hitting your head. Later you went and forgave him, and I was not happy.
I didn't forgive me. I think you are not lying. He had not done anything wrong to me. We were fighting.
Alors, il a posé la question, il dit, parce que lui, il était là quand on était en train de les avancer.
It's me who left out.
Et maintenant,
I left my home to go and fight.
Il l'avait aidé.
I told my wife, if I don't come home, I'm going for a battle. I carry the cross because I have wounds on my feet.
Je porte la croix parce que j'ai des plaies sur mon corps.
I told you I was broken in this hand.
On m'avait brisé l'os de la clavicule.
I've been broken here for 2 fractures.
On m'avait brisé les 2 os.
And my collarbone twice. You understand? This one being, you know, if you are not like me,
si vous n'êtes pas comme
I won't ask you to believe like me.
Je ne vais pas vous dire de croire.
And I won't call you a coward.
Et je ne vais pas vous appeler.
It's not your calling.
Une femme est en train de dire à son enfant.
You can see a woman holding her daughter. A woman is bending her head, but she's holding her daughter's straight head and saying, let nobody bend your head the way your father bent mine. You know, now I have bent my wife's neck like that. She has told her daughters not let anybody bend their heads the way I bent hers. That's how we should train daughters.
Kwanza wa hiki ambayo tumesoma hapa, ukisema ya kwamba namna gani slavery imeanza. Imeanza kupitia kanisa. Na kufatana na hii, watu wengi ambao wanakuwa activist wametumikisha hii kwa kusema kama sisi ma-activist hatuitwi kuwa Wakristo ama Waislamu, watu wa kanisa, kwa sababu kanisa lilikuja na ndilo lilituletea slavery.
We were colonized by the Christianity, by the Western Christianity. My paper, all my life has been to distinguish between Christ, who said, the spirit upon to free captive, liberate the poor, to distinguish Christ from Western Christianity as a culture, as a religion. You understand? Even not only Western, even to distinguish my own Christianity in Kenya from Christ, who is in the very likeness of God. And I put at the Genesis that we are created in God's likeness. If material relationships are broken, Karl Marx said, even social relationships are broken. Why socialism? To restore social
justice and
social relationships between people by removing the bourgeoisie and the oppressed.
We as Pan-Africanists, who is our main target? Is it the Vibaraka or is it the masters? And how do we approach that?
They are one when you come to economically. When you come to what they are doing, they are not. The Vibaraka are puppets, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you deal with them, you are dealing with. It's simultaneous. You cannot deal with one without having that. The other. With the other, automatically.
I didn't know what was going to happen with the cultural night because I wasn't part of the planning of it. But just as a participant, it was amazing to see. It was really a night not only to celebrate all of our various cultures, our collective cultures, Black people globally, but it was also a night to celebrate the amazing work that everybody had done at that point. Over 40 days people had spent together, 40 days, 41 days, and it was a celebration thanks to some brilliant photography. Everybody got these kind of plaques where it had their picture on it, and it was almost like a movement award ceremony where people could pose with their flag, and we have to celebrate each other too. We need to come together and recognize, the struggle that we've been involved in. It was a moment to really celebrate one another and celebrate this experience that everybody had had. We had the field marshals band playing, and they always bring it really tough. And we had different cultural sharing. We had food, a fire, and it was just us coming together and expressing our culture, but to do it in a way to really celebrate our achievement in terms of this intermovement exchange.
In building a Pan-Africanism of a new kind, we believe that forming a common front on Pan-Africanism is really necessary at this point. And to achieve this, we aim to reach more interactions, spread conversations, use means like art and culture, discuss about how we make our movement self-reliance, and these topics about ecological justice, democracy and human rights, international solidarity in building a Pan-Africanism of a new kind.